Loss is a universal experience. Whether it's the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, a job layoff, or even the loss of a cherished dream, navigating the emotional aftermath can feel like trying to walk through fog, disoriented, heavy, and uncertain. Yet, amid that fog, healing is possible. Understanding the layers of loss, the range of emotional responses, and how to support yourself or others through the process can be the first step toward regaining clarity, peace, and purpose. When we hear the word loss, most people think of death, but loss extends far beyond that. It can include bereavement, the death of a family member, friend, or pet, relationship changes, divorce, breakups, or estrangement, career and financial loss, losing a job, retiring, or experiencing economic instability. Identity loss. This can stem from aging, illness, disability, or significant life transitions. Loss of safety or normalcy is often felt after trauma, natural disasters, or global events like the COVID-19 pandemic. Loss of dreams or expectations, when a long hoped-for future doesn't materialize. These losses often come uninvited, sometimes suddenly and violently, sometimes slowly and quietly. And while each person's experience is deeply personal, the emotions they trigger are commonly shared. Grief, the emotional response to loss, isn't a linear process. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross famously outlined the 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. But modern grief theory recognizes that these stages are not sequential nor universal. People may skip stages, revisit them, or experience emotions that fall outside these categories. Common emotional responses include shock and numbness. Feeling dazed or disconnected is standard, particularly with sudden loss. Sadness and yearning. Deep sorrow and longing for what once was are often overwhelming. Anger and resentment. These emotions may be directed at oneself, others, or even the person lost. Guilt and regret. Thoughts of what if or if only I had are common, but often irrational. Fear and anxiety. Loss often brings uncertainty about the future or a shaken sense of safety. Relief. Especially in cases involving long-term illness or toxic relationships, relief can accompany grief and may bring guilt. It's important to know that all of these reactions are valid. Grief is as unique as a fingerprint. Sometimes grief becomes prolonged, intense, or debilitating. This is known as complicated grief or prolonged grief disorder. People experiencing this may feel stuck, unable to resume everyday life, or overwhelmed by guilt, anger, or emptiness long after the loss occurred. When grief interferes with daily functioning for an extended period, seeking professional help is recommended. Equally significant are disenfranchised losses, grief that society doesn't fully recognize or validate. These can include miscarriages, the loss of a pet, job loss, or losing someone due to estrangement. Because these losses aren't always publicly acknowledged, those grieving may feel isolated or invalidated. There is no right way to grieve, but there are healthy ways to support emotional healing. First, allow yourself to feel. Permit yourself to feel sadness, anger, confusion, or joy without judgment. Suppressing emotions often delays healing. Try journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or simply sitting with your feelings without trying to fix them. Create rituals of goodbye. Rituals help provide closure. This could be a memorial service, writing a letter to the lost person or situation, planting a tree, or lighting a candle. These symbolic acts acknowledge the loss and honor its meaning in your life. Lean into support. You don't have to go through this alone. Connect with friends, family, or a support group. Sometimes being heard without advice or solutions can be incredibly healing. Establish a routine. Loss often throws life into chaos. Establishing a daily routine, even a simple one, can help restore a sense of normalcy and control. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Grieving takes time. Don't pressure yourself to move on or compare your process to others. Speak to yourself the way you would a dear friend in pain. Seek professional help when needed. Counselors and therapists are trained to help people navigate complex emotions and trauma. If your grief feels unmanageable, persistent, or interferes with daily life, talking to a mental health professional can provide tools and space for healing. If you're supporting someone through a loss, remember, listen more than you speak. Offer a presence more than solutions. Avoid cliches. Phrases like "everything happens for a reason" or "they're in a better place" can feel minimizing. Be patient. There's no timeline for grief. Your loved one might seem okay one day and shattered the next. Offer practical help. Grief often makes daily tasks hard. Bringing meals, running errands, or simply checking in can be a lifeline. Respect their process. Everyone grieves differently. Let go of expectations and follow their lead. Though it may seem unthinkable in the early stages of grief, many people eventually report a sense of personal growth or transformation in the wake of loss. This phenomenon is known as post-traumatic growth and can include a deeper appreciation of life, stronger relationships or reevaluated priorities, a renewed sense of meaning or purpose, greater resilience and emotional depth. This doesn't mean the pain disappears. Instead, it coexists with growth. The loss remains part of your story, but no longer the whole story. How we experience and express grief is often shaped by culture, religion, and community norms. Some cultures emphasize communal grieving, wailing, or elaborate mourning rituals, while others value quiet stoicism. Some belief systems offer frameworks of the afterlife, reincarnation, or ancestral connection, which can provide comfort and continuity. Understanding your cultural or spiritual background, or exploring new ones, can help ground your grief experience in something larger than yourself. A common misconception is that healing from loss means moving on, but for most people, healing means moving forward, carrying the memory and meaning of what was lost into a new chapter of life. You may always miss the person, job, relationship, or dream, but that doesn't mean joy and fulfillment are forever out of reach. Grief carves space in us, and in time, that space can be filled with love, purpose, wisdom, and new beginnings. The goal isn't to forget what was lost, but to honor it by living fully. Loss touches every human life. It is part of loving, of living, of risking connection and caring deeply. While painful, it also invites us to slow down, reflect, and remember what matters. If you are grieving now, know this: you are not broken, you are not alone, and you are not without hope. Grief is a passage, not a permanent place, and you can navigate your way through it with time, support, and self-compassion. There is life after loss, and that life can still be rich with meaning. If you find this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with others that it could help.